Good morning, Facebook friends and YouTube followers. This is Rich again, back for your first video blog of the day for July 17th, 2014. It's around 7:25 in the morning in Billerica, Massachusetts. The sun is coming out and it's going to be a nice day with low humidity. We're going to have a stretch of weather for the next 5 days with this type of weather. Low humidity, 80 degrees, hardly a breeze, which is good. This is perfect summertime weather. We should have these summertime weather patterns all the time, but we don't. Some news to report. Sad news in the world of music. Singer Johnny Winter passed away at the age of 70. Details of his death are a little bit unknown at this time. And also 20 years ago today, Hulk Hogan beat Nature Boy Ric Flair to win his first WCW World title at Bash at the Beach pay-per-view. This was the first WCW pay-per-view that beat WWE pay-per-view for buy rates and stuff, which is pretty amazing. Well, on to my first subject today. It's about the topic that the NBA has been discussing. The NBA has been considering raising the age for players to enter the NBA draft to the age of 20. Currently, in the collective bargaining agreement, players could enter the NBA at the age of 19 and 1 year of college experience. This took effect in 2005 after a lot of NBA players bypassed college and went into the NBA. A lot of them had success. A lot of them didn't have success. And, you know, and the NBA didn't want so many high school players graduating from college to play in the NBA because some of them weren't mature, some of them weren't really great players. Many of them were, but you got a few of them were complete flops and they were out of the league within a few years. In 2005, when they signed a new collective bargaining agreement, they put that stipulation in that players have to play at least 1 year of college or 19 years old to enter the NBA draft. But you still see a lot of the great college players, high school college players, go to college for 1 year and then they go straight to the NBA. And this is sometimes works, sometimes doesn't. And my opinion, if you're a good basketball player, you should go to the NBA, but you have to wait. You should wait 2 years when you're 20 years old and stuff like that, because you'll be much more mature to handle the NBA and the professional life. Plus, sometimes you have to develop skills, good skills, to be a complete basketball player in college than you have in the NBA, because some of these players who are going straight to the NBA are becoming superstars, or sometimes they're being on the bench a lot and they don't get time to play in, or they just flop big time of injuries, inconsistent play, and stuff like that. Also, if the NBA went to the 2 year, every player has to do 2 years of college before becoming an NBA player and 20 years old, I think the college game would be much better, especially the major schools, because, you know, the major schools are taking a big hit with all these players becoming one and done in college. Some of the biggest programs in the country, basketball programs, aren't winning national championships that they used to do, because the great players are becoming one and done. And this is also having all of the smaller schools in the college basketball, men's college basketball, to become powerhouses, which that might be a good thing, but it's not such a good thing for these major power schools for basketball, which they always had a tradition of winning and going far in the NCAA tournament and stuff like that. And it would be great to see that happen again, because you'll get more like, it's great to have all the power schools when like do good in the NCAA tournament and stuff like that. Don't get me wrong, I like the smaller schools to do good as well, but you know, you got to have the traditional schools in it every year to have a shot at the national championship, and it will also help the NBA as well, because they get the maturity in college, and once they go into the NBA, they could become superstars and stuff like that. Or there's talk about sometimes players, if they don't want to go to college, they could go to the NBA D League, for 2 years and develop their skill, but sometimes the D-League is very tough because many times the D-League is just for players who are like fringe NBA players, maybe Division 2 or 3, superstars, college basketball stars who don't get a sniff at the NBA, and, you know, sometimes they put the D-Leaguers, sometimes are veterans who are trying to make one last run at the NBA, or like sometimes they used the D-League for like injured hitlers to rehab. So I would think the next collective bargaining agreement the NBA has, which they could reopen at the end of the 2016-2017 season, they should really consider making players, like if you want to come into the NBA players, you have to be 2 years of college and 20 years old. It would just be good for that. I think I'd be on board with that. Well, that's it for right now. Hopefully you're getting to enjoy these blogs and stuff like that. Sorry for YouTube followers, you missed out the last video blog about the Hitman Hart versus Owen Hart feud back in 1994 for WWE, but it went over the 15-minute time limit, and YouTube has only 15 minutes. I'll try to keep it under 15 minutes for what subjects I say, but sometimes it might go all over the 15 minutes, so you got to understand. I'll be back later with more of these blogs, and coming football season, I'm going to be doing my weekly predictions of the NFL on these blogs. Be real interesting to see. It's something new and challenging, okay? Have a good day, Facebook friends and YouTube followers.